What's the 50 Cent song?
$20 question.
Yeah, it is. Wait, what if you just asked those questions?
I love you like a fat kid love cake. You know my style. I say anything to make you smile.
He's interesting. You know, he bought out like the first several rows of a Ja Rule concert like this summer, just so they would be empty, because he hates Ja Rule. He's sort of the ultimate troll. Pancakes or waffles? Waffles. Would you rather explore with a buddy or alone? With a buddy, 80% of the time. Alone, 20%. That's a cop-out answer. Vacation house in the mountains or on the beach? Mountains. What does semi-rad mean? Sort of just not that rad, I guess. Not really fully. Maybe it's humble, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want it to mean. What podcasts do you listen to? I cherry pick lots of podcasts. The Rewatchables is one of my favorite ones. Movie podcast. WTF with Mark Maron. I listen to a Tim Ferriss show every once in a while. Dissect lately I finally listened to the first season of that. Kind of bounce around a bit. If you could go on a multi-day adventure with one president, dead or alive, who would it be? Oh man, one president. You're supposed to say Teddy Roosevelt, probably. I really think I would like to go on an adventure with Thomas Jefferson and sort of just smack the shit out of him. Like, I just was at the Smithsonian African American History Museum and like, you're a dick. Like, you're not a good person with what you do. I suppose you want me to, this is like, I should be answering this in a positive way instead of just like, sure, Jefferson did some good things for sure, but really, man, like he owned 600 some slaves, had several children with one of them who, you know, were born into slavery because they basically, you know, take on the condition of their mother, you know, and like, come on, man, you know, like, anyway, fuck that guy.
If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me?
If I didn't smell, that's in the lyrics? If I didn't smell so good, would you still hug me? Yes. And how long of a hug are we talking here too? It's not like, are we
50 Cent, I'm pretty sure it's his call.
Are we, yeah, right. Summer or winter? Can I go fall? And then winter. I'm over summer at this point. It is September 26th and it's still 80-some degrees in Denver, so.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Damn, oh, it's your mom's birthday. Okay. How did you come up with the title Bears Don't Care About Your Problems? It's an essay that's in the book, Bears Don't Care About Your Problems, and I'm not sure what I was thinking the day I wrote this, but it was all about how all the things we worry about on a daily basis and whine about, bears really don't give a shit about our daily problems because they're just out there doing bear stuff. What is the worst jelly bean flavor? I don't really eat jelly beans. Ranch? One essay or column you wrote that you're particularly proud of? I should probably say the most successful thing I've ever written, but one of the ones I'm most proud of is, it's called Summit Day, and it's not like the biggest thing I've ever written on my website, but it was, my friend Abby was trying a third time to summit Mount Shasta and had not gotten to the top a couple different times because of various reasons and was now a mom and didn't have a ton of time to exercise, and we climbed Shasta with her, and she was emotional, I think having her on her period at the time, which was an educational experience for me, but it was a really cool thing to get her to the top of this mountain, and just a great memory, and I was able to write about it in a way that captured that, but also captured how special it was for her, I think. So not one of the greatest hits of all time, but one of my favorite moments for sure. What's the hardest or sketchiest adventure you've ever done? I did this ultra marathon called the Hellbender 100 this spring in North Carolina, and I think that was probably the hardest thing I've ever done to this point. Huge blisters, 100 miles, 24,000 feet of elevation gain. It rained a bunch. Just one of the worst, hardest days of my life. Just continued for like 13 hours the second day, and Yeah, that was hardest, I think. If you had a walk-up song like in baseball, what would it be? It's funny. This question has come up because I've been to, I think, 4 Rockies games in the last few weeks because tickets are so cheap because the Rockies aren't doing so well. And I've talked about this with everybody I've gone to a game with, and it would be OC Time's Up, which is a really 25-year-old hip-hop song.
You lack the minerals and vitamins, irons in the niacin.
But yeah, there's been some good answers. I also think the Rockies and every Major League Baseball team should have someone who is vetting people's songs when they pick them and kind of giving them the, we don't want to do that, like, because these songs you're gonna hear for like 200 times per season, and I feel like there's a couple players where I'd be like, this is not making you more popular with the fans, so we need to veto this one. Yeah, OC Time's Up. What book are you reading right now? I have a stack of 6 books on my bedside table, and one of them is The Elements of Graphic Design, which I'm slowly making my way through, and then there's a book about baseball, and I can't remember, it's an illustrated book about baseball, like Outlaw Baseball or something like that. I can't remember the exact title. And then several running books. One piece of great advice you received. Most recently, a lady told me when I was getting ready for my first 100-mile ultra marathon, she said, if you feel bad, eat. If you feel good, slow down. I think it was probably in reverse order there. So if you feel good, slow down. If you feel bad, eat something. And it's very simple, but very, very good piece of advice. What's your favorite PostEpic meal or treat? Probably deep dish pizza, I think, is the way to go on that. What is one of your favorite pastimes that might surprise people? I started collecting records in the last couple of years, and it's become an obsession to the point where it's like the opposite of stealing music off of like LimeWire or whatever you used in college, and now it's like I will pay $70 for one song that's on a record that a guy owns in Germany and will ship me for. So it's ridiculous, but it's also wonderful, I guess, in a way. If I went back to a hoopty from a Benz, would you poof and disappear like some of my friends? Okay, so some of these are no questions. You definitely say no to that. I just don't really identify with, like, cars don't really make that big of a difference to me. If I wrote you a love letter, would you write back? Yeah, I don't know. Favorite unconventional thing to eat, drink on long days in the mountains? I've recently been buying these vegan frozen pizzas, Amy's frozen pizzas? Amy's. And I'll bake 2 of them the night before a really long race, cut them in half, fold the halves in half, and then put those in plastic bags. And then 2 points in the race, I will grab the whole pizza and put half of it in my vest and then eat the other half while I'm walking out of the aid station as a way to get, I think they're like 900 calories. So just seems to work. What's your biggest trail etiquette pet peeve? Probably external speakers that people listen to music on. Maybe I'm an old guy, but I always think your music you listen to while hiking is basically the unsolicited dick pic of the outdoors. Like, you think it's great and you think everybody will enjoy it, but when everybody experiences it, they're like, whoa, you know. So it's not quite that bad probably, but basically I'm not into it. I want to hear your music like I want to see your dick. I actually had a guy skiing up Mount Shasta. So it's like there's no noise whatsoever, and he's like going basically the same pace I am, like comes up next to me, and he's playing an album that I own on vinyl that I love, and I was just in my own head going, motherfucker, just shut that shit off, are you kidding me, you know? And he stayed there. It was one of those things where you're like passing someone very, very slowly, and it was I think we probably listened to a whole song, and I wanted to choke him the whole time. What do you bench? I did 5 push-ups yesterday for the first time in like 4 months because my wife is telling me she's trying to get up to like, I think 40 push-ups, and she's like, yeah, I can do 20 or something. I'm like, geez, maybe I should do some. So I don't know what I bench. I guess maybe 135. I don't know. It doesn't come into my. Yeah, I don't have to bench most of the time, most days.